Hey folks, this is Gary, and I thought that I should make another video and call this one Working Out the Bugs of the Motorized Bike, because the other video that I posted, I kind of made it seem like wham bam thank you ma'am, and slap a motor on and you're all set. And but I kind of wanted to show you some of the issues that I ran into that had to be overcome with the bike kit and putting together a motorized bike. First of all, being that these kits are from China, and China, nobody gives a shit about quality, obviously, and they certainly don't care about us over here in the United States, and they're trying to ruin our economy from the inside out. And so anything that you buy from China, you pretty much better figure is going to be low-ball quality, and you're going to have to do some mechanical work on it yourself to get it going. Now what I'm showing you here are these two leather washers. Okay, they're cut out of a tire that go on either side of the spokes before the sprocket goes on. Well, you see this washer right here, you see how that's kind of chewed up right there? Right there you can see it's kind of chewed up. Well, that's the way it came from China. It's like, I don't know how they cut those out. They must have like a die with sharp edges on it, and they punch that out. And then they use like some type of grinding wheel, and they grind the surfaces off. Anyway, that one they ground out a whole bunch right on one side, and they made it very there was about an inch area where it was very uneven. Anyway, after I used those and I put them on the bike and I mounted the sprocket on there, after I pushed the bike around the yard with the clutch in, those kind of seated. Anyway, the sprocket became uneven. It was off to one side, thus it had a wobble to it when the tire would go around, and the chain didn't run true, so it wanted to kind of pull the tensioner off to one side. Anyway, and the chain would pop off the tensioner. Now, the tensioner on these things is another piece of crap. You see how that the tensioner bolts around this bottom bar here? Well, that won't stay, man. It doesn't matter how tight you tighten these two bolts. This thing is going to move with the chain riding on it. It just can't help it. Now, I've talked to a lot of people that said that the chain pulled theirs in and popped off of it, and it tore all the spokes out of their wheel. However, I've decided to overcome this problem by, I drilled a hole down here in the middle of it, and I'm going to drill a hole all the way through this bar, and I'm going to run a bolt through there, and it's going to hold this tensioner in place from moving, so my chain can run true. Next problem is the exhaust pipe. Being that most of these bikes, you see how on the motor mount here it has a concave area, and it should seat on this bar. Anyway, most bikes, either one side or the other is not going to be able to seat, so you've got to use some type of adaptive process to mount it, because you have to have at least one side seated properly. Anyway, on this one, I chose to seat the back side inside of the, down there in the, on the bar, because that's where the running sprocket is, the power. And I made this adapter to mount on the front here. So that had to be machined out. They give you one, but it doesn't quite work as well as this one did that I made. Anyway, by mounting that motor like that, and in many cases when you mount the motor, this muffler will either hit this bar or it'll hit the pedals, and it won't mount flush to the motor. So you got to bend it. Anyway, this one I was able to put it in a vise with a couple of 2x4s, and it's got a 90 bent into it. You know, this 90 right here, what I did was I put this end into the vise, and then I just reefed on it, and I took some of that 90 out of it. And then I took one of the ears on the flange, and I bent it just a hair, and put a really thick exhaust gasket in there, and it sealed up quite well, and it misses the pedals. But that's another thing that people have problems with, and I've seen in the forums on motorized bikes on the web where people have actually bent these mufflers. They've took the 90 right out of them, they bent them to 45 degrees to where the muffler actually goes straight down like this. They bent it right out. Anyway, one of the other things is the gas tank comes with 4 studs. These 4 studs that are they're kind of soldered or spot welded or something in the bottom of the gas tank. Anyway, one of those had a hole or something in it, and it leaked like a sieve when I put gas in the gas tank. Also, the petcock that shuts the fuel on and off leaked like a sieve, even though I wrapped it with Teflon tape before I screwed it in. So I just wanted to let you know, some of the issues that you're going to deal with putting one of these together. There may be other engine kits on the market. I saw one today for $299, and from what I understand, every single one of these is made by the exact same factory over in China. Doesn't matter who slaps their name on it, when it gets to the United States, they're all made by the same company. And so far, every place that I've looked on the web, the design of the motor cases, I look at the head and I look at the case, and they're the exact same casting. And so it doesn't matter who puts a sticker on it, whether it says Groovy, or whether it says Flash, or whether it says FMF or AIM, whatever it says, they're all made by the same company in China. Now I want to point out something else too. Between the 49cc units and the 50s and the 80s. Now the 50cc unit is actually 49 cc's, and the 80cc unit is actually 66 cc's. This is an 80, so it's actually 66 cc's. This is called the Raw kit. Somebody calls themselves Raw and put that lightning bolt on there, Big whoop-de-fucking-do. But this carburetor, they do make a high-performance carburetor for the 80cc kit, and this is a carburetor off a 50cc. That's the thing you're going to get with most of the 80s. They just throw the same carburetor in used on the 50s. But there is a carburetor that you can get that's called a high-performance one. That's the jets are 2 millimeters bigger diameter, and it should allow you just a little bit more performance. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to let you know some of the bugs, and thanks for watching, and I'll make a riding video when I get the bugs worked out. Thanks for watching.